T-Rex. T-Rex means tyrant lizard king. It lived about 68 to 66 million years ago, which was a really long time ago. T-Rex fossils were found mostly in North America, in places like Montana and Canada. T-Rex was huge. It was about 40 feet long, which is as long as a school bus and 12 feet tall at the hips. That's taller than a basketball hoop. It weighed as much as a big truck, about 7 tons. T-Rex had a massive head, with big sharp teeth up to 12 inches long. That's as long as a ruler. Its arms were tiny, only about 3 feet long, but its legs were strong and powerful. T-Rex ate big plant-eating dinosaurs like Triceratops and Edmontosaurus. It probably hunted by hiding and then surprising its prey. Scientists think T-Rex had very good eyesight and a great sense of smell to help it hunt. They aren't sure if T-Rex hunted alone or in groups. Maybe they did both. T-Rex could run pretty fast for its size, maybe up to 20 miles per hour. That's as fast as a bicycle. Its strong tail helped it balance when it ran. T-Rex is super popular and shows up in lots of movies, books, and museums. It's one of the most famous dinosaurs ever, Sauropods. Sauropods were the giants of the dinosaur world. They lived mostly during the Jurassic period, about 201 to 145 million years ago. That's way before T-Rex. Sauropods like Brachiosaurus were huge. Some were over 100 feet long and weighed as much as 100 tons. That's as heavy as 14 big elephants. The biggest sauropod we know about is called Argentinosaurus, and it might have been even bigger. They had very long necks and tails, with big bodies and thick legs like tree trunks. Their necks could be up to 30 feet long as a classroom. Sauropods only ate plants, using their long necks to reach leaves high up in trees. They didn't chew their food, but swallowed it whole and digested it in their big bellies. Famous sauropods include Brachiosaurus, Apatosaurus, Diplodocus, and Brontosaurus. You can see their huge skeletons in many museums around the world. Scientists think sauropods might have lived in herds to protect each other from predators. Ceratopsians. Ceratopsians were the horn-faced dinosaurs. They lived during the Cretaceous period, about 145 to 66 million years ago. That's the same time as T-Rex. The most famous ceratopsian is Triceratops. It had 3 horns on its face and a big frill on its head. The frill was like a bony shield protecting its neck. Ceratopsians were about the size of a car or small elephant. Some were smaller, like Protoceratops, which was about the size of a sheep. These dinosaurs ate plants. They had strong beaks like parrots to chomp tough plants. They used their horns and frills to protect themselves from meat eaters and maybe to show off to other ceratopsians. Other cool ceratopsians include Styracosaurus, which had lots of spikes on its frill, and Cosmoceratops, which had the fanciest frill of all with lots of curled hooks. Raptors. Raptors were small, fast, and smart meat-eating dinosaurs. They lived during the Cretaceous period, about 145 to 66 million years ago. Raptors like velociraptors were about the size of a big turkey. They had sharp claws, especially a big, curved claw on each foot. This claw was like a hook and very sharp. Raptors were covered in feathers, like birds today. These dinosaurs were clever hunters. They had big brains for their size and good eyesight. They probably hunted in packs to take down bigger prey. The raptors could run fast and jump high. Famous raptors include Velociraptor, Deinonychus, and Utahraptor. Utahraptor was the biggest raptor, about the size of a polar bear. Scientists think raptors might have been able to do some simple problem solving, like modern birds. Ankylosaurus. Ankylosaurus were the armored dinosaurs. They lived during the Cretaceous period, about 145 to 66 million years ago. Ankylosaurus, like Ankylosaurus, were covered in bony armor. It was like they were wearing a suit of armor all the time. Some had spikes on their sides and a big club on the end of their tail. They were about 20 feet long and very heavy, weighing as much as an elephant. These dinosaurs ate plants and used their armor to protect themselves from meat eaters. They were like tanks on 4 legs. Their heads were low to the ground, so they probably ate low-growing plants. Some Ankylosaurus, like Euoplocephalus, had bony eyelids to protect their eyes. Others, like Nodosaurus, had spikes sticking out from their sides. Feathered dinosaurs. Many dinosaurs had feathers, not just the ones that could fly. Scientists have found many fossils of feathered dinosaurs, especially in China. Feathered dinosaurs include small ones, like Microraptor, which could glide between trees, and big ones like Yutyrannus, a relative of T-Rex. Uranus was covered in fuzzy feathers, even though it was about 30 feet long. These dinosaurs show us that birds evolved from dinosaurs. Their feathers might have been used for keeping warm, showing off to other dinosaurs, or even flying. Some dinosaurs had colorful feathers, just like modern birds. Archaeopteryx is a famous feathered dinosaur that lived about 150 million years ago. It had feathers and could fly a little bit, but it also had teeth and a long tail like other dinosaurs. Hadrosaurs. Hadrosaurs were the duck-billed dinosaurs. They lived late in dinosaur times, during the Cretaceous period. Hadrosaurs like Parasaurolophus had flat beaks for eating plants and sometimes weird crests on their heads. The crest on Parasaurolophus was curved and hollow. Scientists think it might have been used to make loud sounds. These dinosaurs could walk on 2 legs or 4 and were about 30 feet long. They had hundreds of teeth in their mouths, all packed together to grind up tough plants. Hadrosaurs lived in big herds. Some hadrosaurs were good parents, taking care of their babies in nests. Scientists have found fossils of baby hadrosaurs still in their nests. Ornithomimids. Ornithomimids were the ostrich-mimic dinosaurs. They lived during the Cretaceous period, about 145 to 66 million years ago. These dinosaurs looked a lot like ostriches, with long legs for running, small heads, and no teeth. They were very fast and could run up to 50 miles per hour. That's faster than a racehorse. Ornithomimids like Gallimimus probably ate both plants and small animals. They had beaks and long arms with claws that might have been good for digging up food. They often show up in movies, running in big groups. Some ornithomimids, like Dinosaurus, were really weird-looking. Dinosaurus had a hump on its back, a duck-like beak, and huge arms with big claws. Ornithopods. Ornithopods were small to medium-sized plant-eating dinosaurs. They lived from about 228 to 66 million years ago. That's almost the whole time of the dinosaurs. These dinosaurs could walk on 2 legs or 4. They had beaks for eating plants and cheek teeth for chewing. Famous ornithopods include Iguanodon and Mantellosaurus. Iguanodon had a spike on its thumb that it might have used for defense. It could walk on 2 legs or 4 and was about 30 feet long. Ornithopods were some of the first dinosaurs that scientists discovered and named. They were very common and lived all over the world, from Europe to North America to Australia. Pachycephalosaurs. Pachycephalosaurs were the thick-headed dinosaurs. They lived late in dinosaur times, during the Cretaceous period. These dinosaurs had very thick skull roofs, sometimes with spikes or bumps. Pachycephalosaurus had a dome-shaped head, almost 10 inches thick. That's thicker than a bicycle helmet. Scientists think Pachycephalosaurs might have used their thick heads to butt each other, like sheep do today. Maybe they did this to fight over mates or territory. They ate plants and were about 15 feet long. Some Pachycephalosaurs, like Stygomolog, had spikes sticking out of the back of their heads. They looked pretty fierce. Prosauropods. Prosauropods were some of the first big plant-eating dinosaurs. They lived during the Triassic and early Jurassic periods, about 228 to 190 million years ago. That's really early in dinosaur history. These dinosaurs could walk on 2 legs or 4. They had long necks and small heads. Prosauropods were ancestors of the giant sauropods that came later. Famous prosauropods include Plateosaurus and Massospondylus. They were about 20 to 30 feet long. Plateosaurus was one of the first dinosaurs to live in big groups. Prosauropods had leaf-shaped teeth for eating plants, but some scientists think they might have eaten meat sometimes too. Stegosaurs. Stegosaurs were the plate-backed dinosaurs. They lived during the Jurassic period, about 201 to 145 million years ago. The most famous stegosaur is Stegosaurus. It had big bony plates along its back and spikes on its tail. Stegosaurus was about 30 feet long and had a brain the size of a dog's. These dinosaurs ate plants. Scientists aren't sure what the plates were for, maybe to look bigger to scare predators or to help control their body temperature. The spikes on their tails were probably used for defense. Other stegosaurs include Kentrosaurus, which had spikes all along its body, and Tuojiangosaurus from China. Therizinosaurs. Therizinosaurs were very strange-looking dinosaurs. They lived during the Cretaceous period, about 145 to 66 million years ago. These dinosaurs had big bodies, long necks, small heads, and huge claws on their hands. The Therizinosaurus had claws over 3 feet long. That's taller than some kids. Even though they look scary, the Therizinosaurs probably ate plants. They might have used their big claws to pull down branches to eat leaves. They also had beaks like today's plant-eating birds. Therizinosaurs were covered in feathers and could grow to be about 33 feet long. They're some of the weirdest dinosaurs we know about. Spinosaurus. Spinosaurus means spine lizard. It lived about 112 to 93 million years ago. Spinosaurus fossils have been found mainly in North Africa. In countries like Egypt and Morocco, Spinosaurus was one of the biggest meat-eating dinosaurs ever. It was about 50 to 59 feet long, even bigger than T-Rex. It had a long, narrow head that looked a bit like a crocodile's, with sharp teeth for catching fish. The coolest thing about Spinosaurus was the big sail on its back. This sail was made of tall spines covered by skin. It might have been used to help Spinosaurus stay warm or cool, or to show off to other Spinosaurus. Spinosaurus mostly ate fish, and probably spent a lot of time in the water. Its nostrils were high on its head, which would have helped it breathe while partly underwater. It had big, flat feet that might have helped it swim. Spinosaurus became really famous after it was in the movie Jurassic Park 3. Scientists are still learning new things about this amazing dinosaur.